First of all, big congratulations to all ADA holders. The Plomin Hardfork has been completed successfully, and we are now proud owners of the Cardano blockchain. We now have a saying with our token. We now have the power to make decisions and the responsibility to decide the future of Cardano using our ADA. And while this is a happy moment and a huge milestone for Cardano and for us and for all of us, it also marks the era of important decisions, a period of really crucial decisions that we need to make as a community, decisions that will affect the entire blockchain, and it will affect you as an ADA holder. So in this video, we are going to dive deeper into what's happening right now, what are those very important decisions for the future of Cardano, and what you can do to make sure that your own interests are represented in these decisions and that your voice is not ignored. First of all, let's of course celebrate properly this moment. The Plomin Hardfork has been completed, and it's definitely a major milestone, especially in terms of governance. You know, we had already started with the Chang Hardfork, where we had some info actions and we started preparing for governance. But right now we have full-on governance in Cardano, and you can already create proposals to decide how the treasury is going to be spent, for example. So a lot of decision making can be done, even in terms of changing things in the blockchain. And yeah, it's a time of a lot of responsibility for everyone, I believe. And it was definitely great to see so many people celebrating this moment, a moment of decentralization, a moment of having the decision making going into the hands of the community, which I believe is super important. But of course, the time for celebration is not that much, because there is just a lot to do. And the Hardfork happened on the 29th of January, and a little bit after that, on the 30th of January, we already had Intersect pushing the constitution into a governance action for the new constitution for Cardano. Okay, so right now we have an interim constitution, and now we have a proper constitution being put out for a vote. And you can see it here, actually. If you come here to the Gov tool on Cardano, you can come to governance actions, and you can see the only governance action live. And this one right now is the Cardano Constitution governance action. And this one is the constitution that was developed by Intersect, with many workshops all around the world, with the Constitutional Convention in Argentina, in which I was there as an alternate for Portugal. And yeah, and that was voted and approved in Argentina, and that now is being voted by everyone here on the blockchain. And to be approved, you can see, first you can see everything you need to see here. And this is a page you should definitely visit. Just go to GovTool and I'll show you how to do that. You can do it through your wallet. You can do it just searching Cardano GovTool, and you'll easily find this solution. And here I'll show you how to use it. As you can see, it was submitted on the 30th of January and expires on the 15th of March. So we need to have a voting decision up until that point. And what is that voting decision? Well, for the constitution, we need more than a majority. We need 75% on-chain approval of the constitution of everyone who has eligible voting power. Okay, and you can see here that we have around 33.71%, and I think it's around 2.9 billion ADA that you need to be able to ratify the constitution. So around 75% approval to ratify the constitution. So as you can see here, we have a few no's. We have already 1 billion saying yes, and we have still almost 2 billion that have not answered yet. So if you're one of those individuals, please check out this governance action and consider answering, right? Consider voting and see if your voice is represented there in this constitution. You have here, of course, the contacts and everything shared in this post, and then you have supporting links and also the links of the constitution itself as well. Here, if you go to details, you have the links of the constitution they are trying to push through, and I would advise you to read through the constitution and to think of what you believe. You think it should be a yes or a no? I would personally, I would say look at the constitution and think what are the big problems we could face with the current constitution, current voting models, and think if they are critical or if they are a start that we can keep building upon. If they are critical and you think they could put the blockchain into any kind of risk, I guess your vote should be no. If you believe that they might not be perfect, they might be a little bit flawed, but they are good enough to start, and we can move from there. If you believe that's the case, then of course you should vote yes. So how can you vote? You might be asking. How can you be a part of this governance action? Well, it's actually pretty simple. If you come here to GovTool, you can see that you basically have a few options, right? You can delegate your voting power to a DRep. This is someone who has registered as a DRep that will make a decision, and you will basically delegate your voting power to them. You can become a DRep yourself, okay, and basically you accept delegation from other data holders and vote, or you might want to become a direct voter yourself. The thing is, for becoming a DRep or a direct voter, you need to register in the blockchain, and it's around 500 ADA to do it, okay? And I'll show you here quickly what is the process and how you can do it. Basically, you come here to the wallet, everything here is locked, but you come here to the wallet. We will be using Eternal Wallet for this demonstration, and in Eternal, you come here to voting. And in voting, you have Catalyst and Blockchain Governance. You select Blockchain Governance. We are currently abstained, but you can decide, but that's something I'm going to change when I made a decision on what I want to vote. And you can currently decide what you want to do. If you want to select a DRep, you come here and you put the DRep information here. I'll show you how to do it in a minute. If you want to become your own DRep, which is also an option, you just select that option, you click delegate, you move forward, and then you have your transaction with 500 ADA deposit to be able to become your own DRep, and you need to sign your transaction. You can also, of course, abstain, or which means you won't be a part and you don't want your vote to be considered, or you can have a vote of no confidence. That means that basically you don't like the current governance system, you don't like the ICC, you're against all of this, and you want to say that you're against, and that's how you can do it. This is also extremely important if you want to get rewards from staking in the blockchain. If you want to be able to withdraw them, you need to come here and to say what is your position. You don't need to choose a DRep, you don't need to vote yourself, you can abstain and you'll get your rewards, but you need to make a choice and say what is your stance in terms of governance, what you want to do. Even if you vote no confidence, you'll still get your rewards, which I think is very important. But imagine you want to choose a DRep. Well, basically you have here a DRep directory, okay? And in the DRep directory, you can basically see the people here. You can search for anyone, and you can also filter. You can filter, for example, just active DReps, which I'm sure is what you're interested. And you can see which ones are active right now. You can also sort them by registration date, voting power, status. I'm not sure what status is active, of course. So you can filter them across many variables, and more importantly, you can search them. I don't know, let's see if I can search anyone. You see, for example, I just searched Patrick from Nmaker, and we can see here is DRep association, and you can search anyone you want and delegate to them. Usually you also have people on Twitter who say what they are doing, like here, for example, input endorsers. They are saying as a DRep what they are going to do in terms of voting and why they are voting this way. They're actually voting yes. So for example, if you want to vote yes, it's important for you to delegate to a DRep that votes yes. So you can check here on Twitter and social media, you see the DRep ID, and basically this is the thing you need to copy and to paste here on your Eternal wallet, okay? And if you come here to this, You can also see here, for example, Army of Spies. You can also see here their DRep ID. You copy, and that's the one you paste here, and then you choose to delegate. And for delegation, there is a fee, but a very small transaction fee, and then you don't need to do anything else. This is a very, very important decision because the constitution will basically set the framework, set all the groundwork, the foundations for how Cardano governance will happen. So please read through the constitution and vote, because if you don't agree, this is going to be something very hard to change. Because to replace this constitution, once again, you need another 75% threshold, and that's going to be very hard. So if you are against it by any reason, it's better to say that you're against it right now. And to have all the community from scratch trying to work out a solution, while we, instead of having already a solution that will satisfy some and will not satisfy others, and for that will be hard to change considering the high threshold required. So super important for you to do that. And bear in mind that right now is going to be a time of huge decisions, because the constitution is a huge decision, right? Probably one of the biggest decisions, because once we ratify a constitution, that governs the entire Cardano community and our governance model, right? And then there will be others that I'm going to mention. But before that, of course, don't forget to check out the DReps you want to vote. There are many DReps saying yes, the DReps you might want to delegate, such as Input Endorsers, for example, was saying yes to the constitution, as you saw in the previous post. But it was a bit harder to find DReps who said no, in case you wanted to vote no and you don't want to be a DRep yourself. But here, through this post, I was able to find some of them. You can see here in the image, and you can also search them through the platform. For example, let me see. Let me do here a little search in the repository to show you. Let's search one of these guys called Capo. I guess it's the easiest name. You can see Capo here. You can view details about Capo, and you can delegate to Capo if you want through your wallet, or even through the Gov tool. If you decide to connect your wallet, you have here the delegate button to delegate to this person. So you have everything you need here. It's a simple process, I would say, to participate in governance in Cardano. Well, what comes after the constitution? Well, when the constitution is approved, we actually have to approve a budget for Cardano, and that's going to be a whole other discussion. What should be funded through the treasury? What do we want to see built? So yeah, a lot of important decisions are going to be made really soon. So it will be important for you as a Cardano holder to start paying attention and get involved, even if just delegating and following the general process and making overall decisions. That would be already extremely valuable, because we need a lot of people participating. The more people are participating, the more minds with different opinions are working on this, the better will be the outcomes. So hopefully, guys, you can make a little effort to participate. Just, I don't know, 1-2 hours each week. I know sometimes it's a lot, but if we are not careful with our time, it's easy to waste 1-2 hours into anything. But if you focus that time into this governance, that's certainly going to be very beneficial for your bags, for the blockchain itself as well, especially if you like the Cardano and its values. If you want to keep it honest to its values and principles, that will only happen if people actually spend the time to check on governance and to make sure the principles why we got here will be followed, so really counting on you on this. On that note, of course, governance is going to be tricky, but the Cardano community is awesome. It's a big community, and that's the power, through its community, Cardano has really created a magical network, and that's the power of bringing people together under a common topic, on a common set of ideas and principles. And if you ever thought about leveraging this power and maybe building your own community, well, I got a great opportunity for you where you can get funded to build a community on a topic of your interest. And you can check it out more in this video here. I'll see you there.